It's time to wake up. Before we had mobile phones, we were living in a joint family and we had that kind of a culture. But if you see today, people are getting more and more lonely. Families are getting isolated. Nobody's talking to each other like before. Depression rates are rising. And now that we have AI and robots and this revolution in technology happening, the bigger question is going to be the most important one. Is AI going to kill humanity? Is technology going to kill the human spirit? This is what I think. I was recently listening to a podcast where Stephen Bartlett, the diary of a CEO, he interviews Mo Gaudat, who is an ex-Google officer. And the title of this episode was Emergency Episode, Ex-Google Officer Finally Speaks on the Dangers of AI. After going through this episode, I realized that while many people are so excited about AI, ChatGPT is picking up so much of steam, and AI can do this, AI can do that, so many AI tools are rolling in the market, but there's a fundamental thing that is shifting in the way we humans interact with technology, and if you're not careful and aware of things right now, it could be a dark and gloomy future. So before we go into the details, let's understand what is artificial intelligence. As the two words suggest, artificial and intelligence, it is intelligence that is fed by us, the humans, for the computers to do whatever they have to do. For example, let's say if you are somebody who likes to build Lego blocks, okay? Now, as humans, we might have used our intelligence to, build it piece by piece, and we look at the book, and then we follow that order to build the actual Legos. And many people actually love building Legos. Now, imagine a device or a computer or a machine can quickly analyze which blocks are meant to do what. And if it can quickly calculate and put this thing together within a few minutes, that is what AI is. So it's basically you're feeding into the engine something that we already know, but it's getting that processing to be done 1,000,000 times faster than humans. And the same can apply to all kinds of scenarios, calculating numbers, making decisions by looking at big data. And right now there's so much of data in the world that AI engines can quickly make decisions and predictions based on how we humans would be behaving in any scenario. Which ads would we click on? What kind of messaging would be attractive to me as a person, and very contextualized and individualized. One of the reasons Meta and Facebook and Google are some of the biggest companies in the world, because they've got so much of data and they have patterns of how users actually operate. And based on the patterns of each user, there is customized messaging coming to them. If you actually think about it, when you log into Facebook or you log into Instagram or when you log into YouTube, you're getting hit with the specific ads that are relevant to you. In some cases, it may not be true, but in most cases, the engines are learning how you behave and operate and are giving you and feeding you what you really want. So this brings me to the question is, if we're going to continue like this, will we as humans have free will? Because right now you may think that you have the will to make the decision that you want, but you know what? These decisions that you're making are triggered based on past interactions that you're having with technology itself. So you're assuming that you have control over what you're doing, but actually you don't. And that is one of the fundamental dangers of AI and the growth in technology. Now, I'm not a doomsday guy, I'm an optimist, but I'm going to be sharing with you some solutions to this, because we have to use this technology to grow, to use it as a way to actually build ourselves, but not depend on it. There was another article recently where many of you might have heard the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, he warns of dangers as he quits Google. So imagine a man who has literally started this entire thing has quit recently and he has warned of the dangers. So if you're hearing it from the source, that means there's something for us to think about as humanity. Now, what is that is what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Now, the interesting thing about AI is that it is getting smarter and smarter and smarter over time based on what inputs we give it as humans. So in other words, what AI is going to give us is based on the logic and the standards and the information and the data that we give it. So at a root level, if we as humans are not living our life with ethics, values and morals, and if you're going to be feeding the engine with our discrepancies as humans, that's what's going to be the future. So first, let me get into the 12 different challenges that could come about to humanity based on AI. Whether using ChatGPT or any other software or any other tool, bias and discrimination is the first big challenge, because AI tools are taking inputs from everywhere, from Google and from multiple places. Now, based on individual people's opinions or even mass opinions, sometimes it could be more biased towards a particular segment of society based on how much of data is there. So let's say if a person has put in more data on a particular topic with a particular opinion, that opinion may or may not be true, but the AI will actually give you more of that because that is the volume of data that is already there. So the one biggest challenge of AI is bias and discrimination. So the next time you're using ChatGPT and you get a set of answers or an opinion, even though ChatGPT and many of these tools would give a disclaimer that this may not be the best opinion, but still, you got to use your discrimination and use your moral compass within you to decide whether that is the right thing or not. Of course, when it comes to other topics like doing content research, content marketing, copywriting, coming up with video scripts and video plans, it's phenomenal. It does some great things. But when it comes to opinions, you got to be having that check of a moral compass. The second concern is the privacy concerns, because there's so much of data that we are putting out there, and then based on that, the engines and the technologies giving us back. So we also need to be clear about what information are we putting out there. So to the extent that you open yourself to the world and put your information there, only to that extent you're going to be getting back those kind of suggestions. So, and in one case, we are getting tracked in every single place, right? From our banking systems, patterns of behavior, the sites that we browse, the places that we go to, everything is being cookied, and there is a digital footprint for all of us that is being tracked whether you like it or not. So privacy concerns in AI is the second one. The third, as I already mentioned, are ethical concerns. Concerns of what are the suggestions that AI is giving us, and is it moving towards a particular agenda, a political agenda or a religious agenda or whatever. And that's why researchers and developers, they have to bring in ethical implications into AI so that irrespective of what background that you are from, it is a neutral response that you're going to be getting, or a response that is the best for the person who's actually using these tools. The fourth concern that I see is security concerns. This is something that at a national level, at an international level, leaders will be already thinking about this, because using AI for weaponry and for overpowering other countries and organizations, that can be used. So security concerns is a big one, which means that now many of the top nations are going to be having policies, and they're going to be having experts on board their teams to protect and guard the security of a nation or a country or a territory based on this open information that is already there. The fifth concern that I see is that there's going to be a concentration of power, meaning that there could be a very small number of companies owning the market share or controlling the entire world. We're already seeing this happen with Google, Meta, and many of these companies. They have the concentration of power in the world today and the data to actually back it up, which is why now we have platforms like Mastodon, which is like a social networking site, but it's not for sale. Platforms that allow you to stay in control of your own timeline, where you're not getting tracked. And something that is decentralized, that is open source, it is not for sale, and it is interoperable. So what I see is, in the coming years, I see more and more of these open, transparent, and non-trackable companies that are going to be coming out. And the question is to decentralize this power. The sixth big concern that I have is all of us are going to be depending more on AI. So dependence on AI is another big one. Like right now, many people may be using ChatGPT. It's great. Just like how we got started with mobile phones, and when you're using Nokia phones, many of us never really thought about the dangers of mobile. But then over time, phones started to get smarter and smarter and smarter. And then what happened? Now many of us are so addicted to the phone. Now imagine, this is going to take it to a whole different level with AI. When AI can start doing even the smallest things for us, I'm talking about content research, content planning, crunching numbers, giving us plans. It gives that in this instant, we get so dependent on it that we stop using our own brain power. It's like how back in the day when calculators came in, people stopped using their brain power for mental math. Of course, there is no need for it right now, but tapping into the brain power to create new things is something that we as humans need to be in touch with and applying our creativity and our intuition. Otherwise, it's going to go crazy. The seventh concern that I have is a big one, which is jobs. Anything that is repetitive will get replaced. I'll repeat that. Anything that is repetitive will get replaced by AI. So you just think about it. If you're currently in a job where you're doing a monotonous, daily repetitive thing, it's before time where either AI or a robot or something is going to replace that. So your value in the marketplace is going to be directly proportional to your creative inputs. It is not the repetitive stuff that you do. We are going to see thousands, if not millions of jobs getting replaced in the next few years, and it will get replaced by different kind of jobs that will come in. But the sad truth is that our current education system is not catering to these different jobs. Our current education system does not even know what these new jobs are going to be like, and the formal education system, the curriculum is all outdated. So this leads me to the eighth concern, is there's going to be economic equality in our world. People who have access to this technology and tools, they will have an unfair advantage over others, and those that are oblivious to all of this stuff, they're going to be living in a rat hole. So the only way to solve this problem is by helping people reskill themselves continuously. Learn, relearn, unlearn is going to be an important part of this journey, and being a lifelong learner is such an important that I can never emphasize more. In other words, if you finished your degree, and if you have a tail of degrees, and you have a tail of qualifications, you have a tail of awards next to you, it does not matter, because tomorrow you can get disrupted. The ones who will stay above this fast change are the ones who can adapt themselves more. It is no more about intellectual quotient, it's about adaptability quotient. And the ninth concern that I have are the legal implications. Things like intellectual property rights and many others, because now AI can basically do multiple things, and already now there's a lot of concerns around legalities. Who owns the piece of content that has been transformed multiple times? So it is really important to develop new frameworks in the legal system to support this fast-paced technology era. And once again, those people who have been in the legal system for 20, 25, 30 years, you need to start empowering the next generation, because it's no more about remembering things based on what law is in which books, because now you can search for whatever you want with technology like this. It's about how you can quickly apply policies based on different industries that's going to be useful and beneficial for everyone, where it's a win-win-win for everyone. The win-win-win framework is more important today than ever before. One of the people are going to lose in this game, it's going to be devastating for humanity. The 10th concern is definitely AI arms race. So I was reading a Forbes article, and recently more than 1,000 technology researchers and leaders, including the Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, they've urged intelligence labs to pause the development of AI systems, in the arms race that's there. Which leads me to the next one, is we're going to see a loss in human connection. As it is, we are seeing this. Imagine as a family of 4, they're sitting on a dinner table and all 4 of them are looking at their phones. Now, there's already a disconnect. Face-to-face connect is going down and everybody is plugged into the matrix. Now, if we as humans don't take this as a cue and work on this area, it's going to be devastating again. It's going to really, really have serious implications, because in the future, humans will have more connection with AI, and there's already like AI partners, you can have AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, and all that stuff, right? Where the emotional needs are also being fulfilled by technology. Now, when there's no human-to-human connect, what is going to happen to humanity? And in a fun way, like many people are using Siri, right? Or they're using Alexa for everything. They get so used to this that they do not have any other way. They get so dependent on this. And we as humans, we get into this unreal world of building a relationship with technology, which is not real, but it fulfills the needs, and it's quite dangerous if you actually think about it. Which is why I'm such a big propagator of communities. The reason I built my community of over 26,000 members, and where I'm encouraging peer-to-peer learning, because yes, we're using technology, yes, we're adapting to change, but we have to have the human spirit. We have to think beyond religion, caste, creed, color. We got to go beyond secularism. We got to be open. We got to be all-inclusive. Having that mindset is what's going to take humanity forward. And my 12th concern when it comes to AI is manipulation of information. And more seriously is misinformation. There are things like deep fake, where you can literally take any piece of text and get anyone to speak that text out. So what AI can do is I can just take a video of Elon Musk and just make him say that Internet Lifestyle Hub is the best education community in the world for coaches and trainers. And it'll sound so real that it's coming from him, but that may not be true. And it is not true. It has never happened. And this can be a serious concern. Just imagine if somebody takes a clip of a politician and misconstrues the information, and that goes viral, where that politician or whoever has not said that. Now, that can be really, really bad for the political party. Now, forget about politics. This can apply to anybody, any influencer from any industry or any person. So now let's talk about what is the solution to this. How can we as humanity be aware and make sure that we don't really kill ourselves in the future, in the coming years to come, and how we do not use this amazing technology to degrade us. What can we do? The first thing is all of us need to go back to the roots, back to basics, back to setting the foundation of who are we. We are not humans on a spiritual journey. We are spiritual beings on a human journey. We need to understand that we are not this body. We are the spirit soul. So when I say going back to the roots, I mean going back to spirituality. That is something that AI will be able to give us answers, but only we can be practitioners of spirituality and connect into our intuition. There can be artificial intelligence, but there cannot be artificial intuition. When you have a deep spiritual foundation, thinking beyond religion, having the perspective that everybody in this world, in a body, in a human body, is a spirit soul, when you have that kind of a vision, then you will start to operate where you're not going to be looking at anyone as a competitor or as a competition or whatever. You'll start to operate from a space of love. Now, what I'm speaking, it may go over your head for some of you over here, but let me tell you that the only way humanity can be saved is if we bring back love and infuse love in every single thing that we do. Love, care, and kind-heartedness. And coupled with that is having a strong code of honor, ethics, and morality. Because if more and more of us humans, we start to think and speak and vocalize aspects of morality and values and ethics, and we start to post content on social media, post articles, and post a lot more pieces of digital information that the AI will pick up, we will essentially be transforming the entire system to move in that direction. Because the sad truth is, if you look at media today, overall, I'm talking about mainstream media, it feeds negative information into the minds of people. And when people are looking at news or they look at some negative news and they're thinking more about it, and everybody is programmed to think that this world is fearful and it's bad and stuff like that. Even though I shared all of the concerns, I'm actually giving you a solution to this right now. So number one is getting into spirituality and connecting back to the roots and having a spiritual vision to humanity, infusing love into whatever you do. And more importantly, it is this. It is about understanding that we are imperfect beings. To err is human. To make errors is human. And it's to be open, authentic, and transparent about it when you make a mistake or when you go through a challenge. And that's what is going to make us valuable as humans, because AI is perfect. What will make us valuable as humans is our imperfections. So rather than consuming a lot of negative news and stuff on a daily basis, you be in a positive mind. You take action on a daily basis. When you fail, when you make mistakes, share those mistakes with others and inspire them to actually come out of that using hope as a tool. There's definitely one category of person who are all the pessimists, okay? For everything, there's a complaint. I think it's time that we switch from pessimism to optimism as humanity. Because when you operate from an optimistic standpoint, you will start to look for solutions. When you are operating from a pessimistic foundation, you'll only look for problems. So that's a very big difference. So when you're constantly looking at problems and when you're pessimistic, that's information that goes out, which is pretty much the mainstream media. All of that is, pumping negative news for the TRP ratings to be like that. The more of that is pumped into the system, AI is going to be learning more of that, and that's what's going to come back to us. Which leads me to the next point. The only way to make this happen is to build vibrant learning communities. As I mentioned before, I currently have a community of over 26,000 people who are from all walks of life, who are building their own ecosystems and their learning ecosystems. And the kind of bonding that's being created between the community has been phenomenal. So imagine you create a community of your own, even if there are 10, 20, 30 people, and you start to engage your community into a game of learning, implementation, and even peer-to-peer interaction. When you do more of that, when you facilitate that, what will happen is people will feel that they are a part of something bigger. They'll have a sense of belonging. They will not depend on technology, and they will learn from fellow humans. And that way it will save us from degrading ourselves by just getting into the matrix. At this point, I'm feeling really cool, like Morpheus, looking to unplug people from the matrix, because I'm also in the matrix. I'm also going through all of this, but I'm a little bit more aware based on what things are going on, based on my own implementation. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm actually activating communities on a day-to-day basis to help them bloom and grow irrespective of their age. I have a 9-year-old who's interacting with a 65-year-old and they're learning from each other. Okay. I have somebody from a tier 2, tier 3 city interacting with a metro city folk, and they are actually interacting and learning from each other. So this peer-to-peer learning and community building is creating magic in our communities. So spirituality, ethics and morals, having an optimistic mindset, and building communities, all of these are factors that can actually save us from the great dangers of what could happen to humanity. And the fifth point is we need more leaders. Every single problem in this world can be solved if we have more teachers and more leaders who are living and walking the talk. Leaders who are leading with value, where it is not about them, it is about how they can serve others. My mentor has given me a very beautiful framework for decision making. He says, mission first, community second, me third. Most people who are in a self-centered mode, they always make me first decisions. How can I benefit? How can I extract from the market? How can I be number one? When you move away from that mindset to mission first, how can we solve problems together? How can we change the situation of our education system? How can we improve the climate change situation? How can we solve our poverty situation? How can we improve the cleanliness situation of this world? If we start thinking with a positive foundation to solutions to the problems that are there, things are going to be changing. Then we will find solutions. We will find new means. We will find different ways to solve the economic problems of people using technology and AI to our benefit. It will no longer be humans versus AI. It'll be humans with AI to solve the bigger problems on the world. When there's a clear mission, when you build communities and do it as a community learning exercise, and by default, we will be benefited from this. Because if you can help others get whatever they want, you'll automatically get what you want. But for that, there has to be a service mindset. So when you have more teachers and leaders with strong values, there's going to be more peace and prosperity in society, even at a top level, where we will truly see United Nations of the world happening. We will start to go beyond just political agendas. And what has happened till now has happened, that's fine. But I think now Gen Z and the next generation are starting to think in a much more different way when it comes to leadership. Leadership styles have also been evolving. It's no more about old school stuff. Some of the best leaders today are leveraging technology to their own advantage, and they're able to move with speed. They are able to use all the tools that is there in their resources to really create progress in society. And these leaders, they know that it is not about them. It is about the people, it's about society, it's about creating progress and prosperity in this world. And just like there are two sides to the coin, wherever there is day, there'll also be night. Wherever there's black, there's also white. Wherever there's white, there's also black. Similarly, there's also going to be a segment in society and a set of people who want to create havoc. And their presence is there to balance the other. I hope I'm not getting too into the spiritual zone, but this is what I mean. People will realize the value of light only when there's darkness. When 9/11 happened many years back, it was a dark phase in the Americas and of course all over the world. But that situation of what happened, the terrorist attacks, it tightened the security across all of the airlines in the world, and it has created more peace overall. Similarly, even right now, when there are situations that may happen in the world, when it comes to AI and the concerns, that is going to be triggering solutions that will be coming up in the world. Or in other words, for every pollution, there will be a solution. So, as we come to the end of this particular video, back to the main question. Will AI kill humanity? It's in our hands. It's in your hands. It is not in anybody else's hands. It's what you do with your time right now and how you work on yourself and how can you bring about that mindset of progress and prosperity with an optimistic foundation to your life. That's going to lead to progress, which means that you got to start working on yourself and you got to start adapting and learning skills and also start building communities. If you'd like to know more about how I can help you, there's a link in the description. Please come to my website and I would love to have you as a part of my community. And if you found this video useful, please hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and I'm going to come to you with many more videos like this in the future. Thank you so much for your time. I really want to appreciate you for that. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.